What are your motives behind fasting? Why are you doing it? That's what a motive is. What is your reasoning? What is your purpose? What is your goal? What has prompted you to do this? Why are you doing it? And that's going to be key. Are you doing this because this is what Kevin say we must do, or what my pastor or bishop say we must do? Or should I do this so at the end of this, I could say, hey, I was committed in doing this. However, I violated unknowingly all of the rules of fasting. All right. So, with that said, let's go to 1 Samuel 16. We're going to go to 1 Samuel 16 and we're going to read verse 7 because I want to show you what God looks at in anything that we do, but in particular, because we're discussing fasting, what he's really looking at. Now, remember what I told you in our previous, and for those of you who are just coming on, we already did part 2 and part 1. Part 2 was very, very deep because we were dealing with the will of God during fasting, and that's going to be key. So basically, whatever you come into God for, you better ensure that it is in alignment with his will and not what you're trying to get the creator of all creation, who knows the end of all things from their beginning, okay, who's already set up stuff the way he wanted. You cannot come on a fast or prayer or intercession or whatever to dictate to him how he should rearrange what he has already done before the foundation of the world. So the mindset or the stronghold we were breaking down in session 2 was stop telling God what to do and what you want, and focus on, in humility, of course, recognizing him as the one and only true God and the creator of all things, and submitting myself. Now, when I come before him, the primary thing is your will. Yes, I want this. Yes, I want that. But according to your will. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you I don't want your plans to go forward in my life or to be replaced with my plans. So, this is what we were destroying in our last session. Stop dictating to God as if you're God. You're not God. I'm not God. Okay? You must come in humility. You must come with reverence and respect that he is all knowing, and that what you're coming to him with or for, he is fully aware of it. In fact, he said, Isaiah 46:10, he has declared the end of all things from the beginning. So in between that space, the end and the beginning, he is fully aware. So there's nothing I'm coming to him with that surprises him. In this session, we're going to focus on the motives of why we're fasting, and the motives has everything to do with our hearts. So in 1 Samuel 16 and verse 7, okay? And the backdrop to this story is uh, King Saul at the time was king, but God had rejected him because of his frequency in disobeying God. So God had sent Samuel, the prophet at that time, to Jesse's house, who would be the father of David. God sent Samuel to Jesse's house to pick out his king that was going to replace Saul. So when he got there, he looked at all of Jesse's sons, at least the one that were in the house, and according to the scripture, they all looked like kingly material from the exterior. Tall, handsome, had a look of leadership in the works. And each one that Samuel went to, God told him no. So Samuel was confused, right? And inquired about God. I don't understand it. I mean, what do you want then? So in verse 7 of 1 Samuel 16, God here says, he says, but the Lord said unto Samuel, okay, he's now responding to Samuel's confusion. Look not on his countenance, meaning don't look at the facial experience or the facial expressions or the externals of Jesse's sons. Don't be captivated by that, Mr. Samuel. But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I being God, have refused him, all of Jesse's sons, except for David. For the Lord, so God is now going to tell Samuel why he rejected the sons of Jesse so far and why they didn't meet his approval. And he said here, he says, I refuse him. Sorry, but the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord see it not as man see it. God don't observe you the way we observe others. Okay? Remember, there's a scripture, I think it's in Isaiah. He says, my thoughts are far from your thoughts, and my ways are far from your ways. Then he gave an example of how far it is. And he says, as far as the heavens are from the earth, I believe it is, so are my thoughts and ways compared to yours. Okay? So there's no comparison here. He said, I refused him, for the Lord see it not as man see it. Listen, for man look or observe on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at a man's heart. So you and I would look at Jesse's sons and say, man, any one of these guys could be king. But God, who not only looks at the heart of this person, but the position in this case that he's trying to get out of one of these guys is to be a king. God now, who knows the end of all things from the beginning, now begins to look into each one of their files, which Samuel cannot see. And based on his conclusions of each one of these sons, none of them meet the God expectation of the next king of Israel. So Samuel then asks Jesse, listen, do you have any more kids here? I mean, some may right here. So he said, yeah, I got a little Ruddy, R-U-D-Y, I think it's spelled exactly how it is in the King James Version. I have a little ruddy son outside. He running down sheep and goat all day. We could get him. So when he went and see this dude, which would have been David, which as it relates to appearance, there is no comparison in regard to his siblings. Again, all of them look kingly externally. David, on the other hand, from an external, cosmetic, aesthetic perspective, this guy, nobody will ever pick him as king. So what is God making his assessment on based on the evidence we have so far? Well, he's looking at the heart of David. So this is going to become the premises of what we're going to build on today. In your fasting, those of you who've already started, those of you who already made it completed, your fast already, or those who are about to go on it, what was your motive behind your fast?